Hi everyone, I am Liz with Real Girl Beauty. Welcome to my channel. We're going to continue with this week's feature, What's on My Face? What is on my face? Well, it's Friday, so we're doing Facebook Made Me Buy It Friday. And Facebook made me buy that. I'm trying to get this to not reflect too much on you guys, but this is DERMACOL makeup. This is supposed to be a film studio from Prague, SPF 13 waterproof, hypoallergenic, full coverage, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people have done videos on this where they love it, hate it, do it on a single trial, see what they think. As you guys know, I'm not a single trial kind of person. I hate to use something once and then come and tell you what I think because I feel like, how can I know what I think using it once? There's a little bit of a story to this. The Facebook ad that led me to this originally fed me to a counterfeit website that sold me a counterfeit one. So I've done a little video for you to show you what the counterfeit looks like and how to tell the difference, and so that you won't get suckered in like I did and buy the wrong one. So here we have the authentic DERMACOL on the top and the counterfeit on the bottom. One of the biggest things you can see here to start with is the amount of flour that's on them. The actual real one, it's a light kind of subtle little flour, whereas the counterfeit, it is completely and totally over the top. Now looking as well at the embossing. If you look here, I'm going to zoom you in as tight as I can. Now see the embossing with the gold lettering on the authentic. The gold goes a little bit off to the side, giving it an even more raised appearance. When you go to counterfeit, that doesn't exist. All of the lines are very, very tight. In fact, it's almost the opposite. The pink on the top for the counterfeit is actually a darker pink than the DERMACOL. When we flip around to the back, you can see the difference here. That is the authentic DERMACOL, and you can see how this foil really moves and shifts and throws off other rainbow colors. It's also a little bit lighter than the counterfeit. Notice the counterfeit's foil, which part of this I don't know if it's because it was damaged in shipping, but it's not the same. It's more shiny, it's not as reflective, it's not giving me all the colors like the actual product does. Now I left this sticker on for you guys so that you could see. This came from Amazon. It was from DERMACOL's actual Amazon store. So it says on it, guaranteed from authorized stockists. That's Amazon speak for, yeah, we're sure the person selling this actually makes the product. We know it's authentic. When it comes to the wording on the back, to the best of my ability to read, it's nearly identical. There's little tiny changes in fonts and positions of different words, and some of the accents are different, but the back for the most part looks the same. However, there is a massive difference on one of the sides when it comes to the language directions. As you see from the authentic, it goes from Arabic to French. The counterfeit has another language under PER, and I'm not totally sure what that stands for, if I'm completely honest, that's after the Arabic. So that is the fake one. There is also, on the other side with the English, the wording is actually different. So this is the authentic one. It says, hypoallergenic waterproof foundation with SPF 30 provides perfect coverage for all skin imperfections, even in a thin layer. It is perfect corrector for dark under eye circles, unpleasant spots, and skin blemishes. It can be used on the entire face in order to darken or lighten your skin, ensuring ideal color balance for professional makeup, photo, or film shoots, festive occasions. Use, apply in very small quantity and spread evenly. When I go over to the Counterfeit, it says hypoallergenic waterproof makeup cover with SPF of 30 is preservative free. So in the first sentence, it's altering what it says. It provides perfect coverage even in thin layers, not only for dark circles under the eyes, but also for unpleasant spots and skin blemishes. It may also be used for the whole face in order to darken or lighten the skin, ensuring ideal balance, or for professional makeup, photo or film shoots, modeling or festive occasions. Directions: apply in a small quantity and spread evenly. For removal, use DERMACOL cleansing milk according to your skin type. And by the way, the packaging on these is actually different. The paper is different. The actual DERMACOL is a little bit rougher, a little bit more of like a satin finish, whereas the Counterfeit is a lot smoother and more glossy. As well, when I actually received the Counterfeit, it had a piece of tape on the top holding it together and sealing it shut, which the actual DERMACOL does not have. Now to the tubes themselves. As you can see, there is a world of difference between these two. Counterfeit is still here on the left. Authentic is still here on the right. The big shining warning sign here, the fake one has a tube which is a lot lighter in color than the authentic. In terms of quality for the packaging, the Counterfeit is super soft, really malleable. Just you can push on it all day and it'll move around, whereas the DERMACOL has a little bit more strength to it. You can still squish it and move it along, but it has a little bit of resistance to you. So when you look at the back of the packaging, there's a clear difference in the labeling, the production labeling. The authentic states the color on it. It says 209 there, gives an expiration date and then the stock number. The Counterfeit does not include the number of the foundation itself, the color number. All it has is an expiration date and then the inventory number. You can contrast that with the Counterfeit. It's really liquidy. It's very hard to stay in the tube. I didn't squeeze the tube at all. I just removed the cap, and a huge dollop of liquidy product came out on its own. It may actually still be coming out. I'm going to hold on and change that. So that's the difference in these two. It's really hard to tell when it's not in your hand because things like the texture and the color and the smoothness of the paper and things like that are not visible in the flash photography that these websites are using. So when you're buying products like this, that you know there's an authorized retailer, but you're being fed to a site that doesn't sell the product, don't purchase from there. This is probably the best warning I can give you out of these Facebook maybe buy it's or Instagram maybe buy it's, is that you have to buy it from the actual seller. You don't want to just buy it cheaply on a random site. And FYI, this was only $3 cheaper than this. That's it. That's it. Both of them had free shipping, and it's not that significant enough of a savings where it would make a massive difference where you'd be, oh, well, I'll just get the Counterfeit because it's cheaper. No. And then with the consistency errors, I've watched other videos online about the Counterfeit, and the colors are off. They're not the same as the authentic. So there's a lot of stuff you got to think about when you're comparing the two. That is all of the things that are different between them, so you can know if you've received a fraudulent one, if you've received a legitimate one. I purchased this one on Amazon, which is why it still has the Amazon inventory sticker from DERMACOL's Amazon store, coming straight from them, so that I can ensure that it was in fact authentic. You can return counterfeit products, by the way, or technically you don't have to return them because they're counterfeit. They are technically supposed to be destroyed when they're discovered to be a counterfeit product. But you can petition to get your money back, either from your credit card company or from PayPal, based on the fact that you were sold a fraudulent good. You were sold counterfeit merchandise. You do not have to accept it and live with it. But I did get the authentic one and I got to try it out for you. I've got this on my face right now. It is very, very high coverage. However, it's not perfectly high coverage. Like, I had a pimple on my chin from not feeling well from being sick, and I still had to go in with concealer, and I feel like even then it's still not totally controlled. I still had to use concealer under my eyes. I feel like there are patches where it didn't seem quite as thick as other places, but I am not a person who will complain because the foundation isn't high coverage. I'm not a high coverage fan. So for me, it not being totally high coverage was actually a plus, but it might not be for somebody who's looking specifically to buy high coverage film quality makeup. You know, that would not fit your bill. It's definitely not total and complete high coverage. I have used it both with a sponge and with a brush. I prefer the brush because I feel like it gives it more of an even application. It kind of blends in better. But I know with the sponge, it goes on just as well. It's slightly more high coverage with the sponge, but it's a tiny, tiny difference. My biggest issue with this is while it says on it that it's hypoallergenic, it does have a fragrance to it. And this makes my skin itch. My skin hates this foundation. Like, I put it on again for the video so I could be wearing it so that you could see it on me. But honestly, my skin hates this foundation. It feels uncomfortable. It feels kind of irritated and itchy, and it's like it wants out. It wants out. If you are as sensitive as I am, avoid at your own peril. This is not hypoallergenic. Anytime you add a fragrance into a product, it's not going to be hypoallergenic anymore. And it's not. It is an irritant, and I'm not happy about that part of it. Color range, they actually have a decent color range. It goes from even paler than what I ordered. That's how I even found out that I had a counterfeit, because it was too light, and I went to go see what the color range was, and then I started to look at it, like when I had to order another one to get the right color to be able to test it properly. That's when I started looking at it, and when I got it and this looked completely different than the other one, I went, oh no, that one was definitely counterfeit. So this, for me, as much as it's not as expensive as some of the Ulta and Sephora prestige brand foundations, it's a definite pass. It's not good for my sensitive skin. Actually, the first time I tested it, I ended up with a rash on my neck, like right here, right where the foundation was being blended down into my neck. It was just like this red rash right here. And my husband kind of said, didn't you try that makeup on? And I'm going, well, it says hypoallergenic on it. And it's not. So yeah, if you're sensitive, avoid. If you're not, and you're looking for something that has a bigger range of colors that can go lighter or darker than what you've seen in the stores, it can do that. It's also sort of a middle price point. It's at the higher end of the high-end drugstore stuff, like the Neutrogena one that I like is $17.99, and I believe this one was $15.99. So it's sort of in between the upper drugstore and Sephora, Ulta. So it is that price point effective. But again, if you're sensitive, it's not going to be good for you. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. We're going to keep on going tomorrow with what's on my face. And this was my Facebook made me buy it. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications for tomorrow's What's on My Face video, as well as next Friday's Facebook made me buy it. I am finally doing a lip product, so you've got to come back and watch for that to see what I tested out. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope you have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.